accidentally recorded over or saved over the audio file for this entire playthrough. When I did episode 8, I accidentally labeled it 7 and just quickly hit the enter key and did a save as and overwrote. It's old-fashioned English here. Overwrote the audio for it. So the entire audio was lost in terms of the voice audio. So what you're seeing is me commentating on top of the video as it plays. So I won't be reacting on the spot, but that's fine because today we're discussing what I like to call the Virago. Virago. Although more commonly known as the domineering woman. I was referring to it as the dominatrix, but that has sexual overtones that I'm not talking about here. One thing I did not discuss in this entire playthrough, because by the time you're watching this, the entire playthrough is now complete. It's all done. I'm just rendering and bringing everything out. But I'm going back in time to redo this episode because my commentary was lost, unfortunately. I did not cover the woman that uses sex as a tool because that's any and all of them. What you're hearing in the background is me mixing up my hot green tea made from matcha. If you're gonna do green tea, guys, for the benefits like the ECGC and other benefits of it, I think it has polyphenols and antioxidants and whatnot, I would highly recommend that you do matcha, an authentic, reliable green tea powder. We're heading into the New Londo ruins. Obviously, it's time for the Four Kings, right? Hey, I'm watching this just like you are, so we'll see what happens. As we're watching this, I am going to turn down the volume that I'm hearing because it's just a bit loud. There we go. That sounds better. You're going to hear possibly a little noise from my headphones. I hope not too much. What's interesting about the Virago, or the domineering woman, is that just like all the others, she will use sex as a means of control, but that is not unique to her. So keep in mind, any of these abusive or predatory women can use sex as a means of control. In fact, it's very common to hear, even in public or on TV and comedies and movies and sitcoms and whatnot, a guy will do something the woman doesn't like, and she'll give this response of, oh, well, if this is going to happen, then somebody's not getting anything tonight. Somebody's sleeping on the couch tonight. And, you know, we all sort of laugh at that and consider that funny, but it's really not. Now, I don't want to get us to the point where we're just the male version of feminists getting mad and butthurt over everything and seeing offense everywhere and in everything. I don't want to get to that Anita Sarkeesian level of, you know, everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out. I don't want us to get to that point. However, we do have to address the ways that society is sexist towards men, the ways that society is misandrist, actually hates men, not misogyny. Misogyny is used synonymously with any way that women are viewed that I don't like. So a lot of feminists will say that it's misogynist to say that a woman is attractive. It's misogynist to have a billboard advertisement with a sexy girl in a bikini. No, it's not hatred of women just to be, quote, sexist, or just to be, I don't know, what's the term for it? To make a woman out to be a sex object? No, in and of itself is not misogyny. That's not hatred of women. What we have in society is literal hatred of men. We have women out there, particularly feminists, literally typing out the hashtag kill all men. No joke. This hashtag trended on Twitter for a while. Let me take a sip of this tea, see if it's ready. It's really hot though. Oh yeah, it's like hot enough to burn your mouth hot. Green tea, great for you. I recommend you include it in your daily regimen. If I were you, I'd do a cup of matcha green tea a day. Matcha is the green tea powder that you mix in. You get so many more benefits than just a cheap little tea bag. You get a fraction of the benefits with a tea bag. All right. I'm actually not a huge fan of the taste. I wish I liked it more. I don't. But oh well. I'm going to keep drinking it. So, here's something to think about. If she's saying you're not going to get any tonight, or, you know, nothing's going to happen tonight, the idea there is she's basically saying, if you do this thing that I don't want you to do, I will use sex. Oh, there you go. Dead. You died. Thanks, Obama. She's using sex as a means of control. The idea is, do what I want you to do, or I will withhold physical intimacy from you. Is that manipulation? Well, absolutely. Is that control? Yes. Is that appropriate? Is that something we should laugh about or just think is funny or just think, well, that's how women are? Well, look at it this way. Imagine a couple's out in public. They're chatting, they're talking, right? They're doing their thing, they're hanging out, and she does something he doesn't like. So what does he do? Well, of course, he says, well, if you do this, then I'm not giving you any money for the rest of the week. You're going to have to find your own money. No money for you. See, because she's a stay-at-home mom. Who here would find that funny? Who here would laugh at that? Who here would think that was just had comedic value? It was just comedy? No. Even as men, we would look at that and think, damn, that's kind of harsh. Man, how's she going to buy food? Of course, feminists, women would be like, well, Fox, that's different. That's not the same thing. Because remember, for women, it's okay to withhold stuff from the man. It's okay to punish the man by withholding sex or withholding affection or withholding anything, even children, withholding his own kids from him. But when he withholds something from her, oh, no. That's abuse. That's control. But when she does it, that's okay. Remember, female solipsism is all about the notion that a woman will basically think, well, when I do it, it's okay. When women do it, it's okay. When men do it, it's not. When men do it, it's abuse, neglect, it's cruel, it's domestic violence, it's manipulation, it's control. When women do it, well, that's okay. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with what women do, right? Women naturally believe that their way of viewing the world, their way of trying to exercise control and manipulation over men is okay. Men's way of doing it is not okay. Now, I used to be of this mistaken mindset that women controlled men by withholding intimacy and emotionally, and men controlled women physically with violence or control like that. No. Absolutely 100% that's the wrong way to think or look at it. Statistically, that is just not true. Both men and women are equally likely to use violence. In fact, a CDC study found, and this is a CDC study, this is not some men's rights activist group or something, okay? This is not some far-right group that's trying to promote men's issues. A fairly liberal group, hold on. Excuse me. A fairly liberal organization, government-backed organization, came to the conclusion that in cases of non-reciprocal violence, that means cases where either the man or the woman is violent and the other's not, where only one of them is domestically violent to the other, women were domestically violent something like 74% of the time. So what that means is, in the cases where there's non-reciprocal violence, 74% of them are women being violent to the men and the men not reciprocating that violence. That means the man is not violent. The other percent, on the flip side, is the men are violent and the women aren't. So in cases where only one is being violent, the vast majority of those are women. In cases where they're both being violent, it's about 50-50. It's really close. It's like upper 40% for one, lower 50% for the other. And looking at the studies, it really depends on which one you look at, what the exact numbers are. But it really does look like they're about equal. Now, this is not something I almost died here, too. I can't remember if I die here or not. I think I do die one more time. I can't remember what each and every study said, but essentially, the studies indicate there's roughly a half and half correlation. Not correlation. There's a half and half... is the word causation? Maybe that's not it, but you know what I'm talking about. So, the Virago, as I like to call it, that's the only appropriate term I could find. It's not a common word. It's not one we understand. I do die again. It's not one we typically understand in the English vernacular. But you could think of it as the domineering woman. This is the woman who seeks to bring her man down through physical control, physical violence, through emotional control, manipulation, using and withholding, giving and withholding affection, giving and withholding his own money. She may have full control over the money, and because of the way the relationship works, she has always had control over his money, so she will not give him the money, and he will be so beta, he will be so blue-pilled in his thinking that he won't think like he can just go out and get the money himself, obviously. He'll fear the anger that she'll feel if he goes and gets the money herself. He's used to her basically giving him back a portion of the money he's earned as a sort of like allowance. This is a real thing, guys. You may think, oh, I'd never be like that. What a loser. Yeah, well, do you think that guy, when he was younger, growing up, when he was 18, 19, thought, I'm going to get married and this woman's going to control me and she's going to take all my money and give me back a portion of it? No, of course not. He never thought that. He never thought that would happen to him. But it did. Guys, I'm telling you right now, please don't get into this mistaken notion that it can't happen to you. Being in a really bad relationship and going through a horrible divorce, it's kind of like cancer. It happens to a lot of people. It's really common. But you never think it's going to happen to you. So you don't prepare for it. You don't worry about it. And when it hits you, you're shocked. You're stunned. You're horrified. You're angry. Why would this happen to me? This isn't supposed to happen to me. This happens to other people. This doesn't happen to me. That's the reaction most people have when they're diagnosed with some potentially lethal form of cancer. Think about it this way, guys. When at least roughly 50% of marriages end in divorce, what are your chances that your marriage is going to end in divorce? Yeah, well, I'm not a statistic, Fox. No, you're not. But when you think you're the exception to the rule, that's oftentimes when the rule occurs. Oh, triple kill. You gotta love that. Triple kill, Halo style. When you think you're the exception to the rule, when you think it can't happen to you, is when you're more susceptible to it happening to you. How are you prepared to avoid a divorce if you're married? Really? Well, you know, I treat my wife nice and I'm a nice guy to her. Nice guy doesn't work. Nice guys get divorced all the time. Nice guys get divorce put on them. Nice guys get denied access to their kids. I was a nice guy for a while, and I got a shit ton of problems in the divorce. I was treated like crap. I had all sorts of things happen to me. I can't go through all the details. Let me just say this. I went through an absolute nightmare divorce, and I was the nice guy, trying to be the nice guy. And even during the divorce part of it, I was trying to be nice, trying to send extra money to her and do this and do that. And, you know, I'd find something that's hers that she forgot to take with her, and I'd be like, oh, here, there's this memorabilia thing that you wanted. Being the nice guy. And you know how I was rewarded for that? Treated like shit, even worse. Stepped on and walked all over. Okay? I quickly learned to stop doing that. I quickly learned to stop being nice. Being nice doesn't get you stuff. People oftentimes say, yeah, I'm trying to get all these guys here, but they like to be just out of reach, don't they? Being nice doesn't get you where you want to go most of the time. Because you think about it, people say you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Well, you know what actually attracts flies, guys? Do you know what really attracts flies? Do you know how to get the flies? With shit. That's how you get the flies. Shit attracts the flies. I don't know why you'd want to, but if it's flies you're looking for, lay down a pile of shit and they'll be there soon enough. That's how I get the fly. And obviously, what we're referring to here is the fly is a good thing in this analogy or metaphor or whatever. Simile, I don't know, whatever it is. In the case of if you want the flies, yeah, honestly, that's how it has to work. I mean, when I call up to places and I'm looking to get simple things, like let's say I just want to get medical records on my son. Places will give me hell over it. There is not a father alive today that doesn't know what it's like to be treated as the other. Mom calls, she gets whatever the hell she wants. Mom goes in, she gets whatever she wants, no problem. Dad shows up, oh, well, we don't know. We gotta check with the mother. I'm like, hell no, you don't have to check with the mother. I have the same rights as the mother. Well, we just don't know if you're an authorized individual. I'm like, authorized individual? The fuck you talking about? I'm the father. Established, proven. But I have to be authorized? And I would literally say to them, did the mother have to be authorized? Did mom have to get authorization? Did you tell mom to talk to her lawyer? And I love it because they all get dead silent. Like, they don't know how to respond. Their best defense, to me, is always, well, this is just how we do it. I'm like, okay, well then stop doing it wrong. You've been doing it wrong all this time. Stop being wrong. I don't know what to tell you. This is just what I'm told to do. Okay, well, you're told wrong, so stop doing it wrong. I'm sorry, I can't help you. That's how people are. And I love getting on tangents, guys. I don't mind it. It's always a good thing, I think. Well, usually a good thing. This is where I'm looking where to go. I'm not used to trying to jump off from this ledge. So the domineering woman, the Virago, she seeks to destroy your confidence. She wants to bring you down. Usually these are unhappy women. They're unhappy with their lives. You cannot make them happy. Bear this in mind, guys, and I say this with a level of authority and confidence and experience. If a woman is determined not to be happy, you cannot make her happy. Nothing you do will make her happy. You think buying her that new house? Nope. Buying her the bigger house? Nope. Adding, whoa, shit, I wasn't expecting that guy to show up. That was my reaction live when this happened. I was like, holy shit, what's coming? I've never seen him come down here before. But it makes sense, right? I hit him with the arrows, so. Nothing you do will make an unhappy woman happy if that's her determination. She will bitch and moan about how the house isn't big enough. Buy her a bigger house, she still won't be happy. She will bitch and moan about her car. Buy her a really nice car, really expensive car, she still won't be happy. Damn, I died again. Excuse me. I always get phlegm when I do these playthroughs. I was very unhappy when that happened. I had some very unique words to say during that moment. It's good that you guys didn't hear it though. All right, I'm going to be clearing my throat this entire time, unfortunately. Excuse me. So, how do you make her happy? You can't, you don't. You just walk away. An unhappy woman who's determined to be unhappy will always be unhappy. I did so much for years and years to try to make a woman happy. And all it did was make me miserable and give her more excuses to bitch and moan. So it is what it is, you know? I held a level of frame, but honestly, at the end of the day, no matter how alpha you are, no matter how red-pilled you are, no matter how you act, no matter how much money you make, no matter how confident you are, no matter how good you look, if she's determined to be a bitchy, unhappy, angry woman, that's what she'll remain. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. These guys out here will tell you a woman will act as poorly as you let her. There's an element of truth to that. That is not a lie. That is not false. There's a lot of truth to that. However, don't mistake that for them saying you can fix any woman. As long as you act right, she'll be the right woman for you. No. The reverse is not true. You can get a woman to act right, who is willing to act right, who knows how to act right. But, oh yeah, I forgot the curse here. I found out the hard way. I was like, oh shit. But if a woman is determined to act poorly, if a woman is determined to be unhappy and angry, nothing you do will change that. Nothing. Trust me. It does not matter. Guys out there will try to sell you their program. You can fix any marriage. Fix the deadbed of your marriage. Get any woman to sleep with you. You know, restore sex to your sexless marriage. And I jumped off here, mistakenly thinking I was somewhere else, and died. Isn't that beautiful? It's lovely, isn't it? I thought I was somewhere else, and I thought there was a ledge there to land on. My bad. I thought it was funny at the time, too. I actually laughed about it. I wasn't mad. And it was my fault, obviously. So, bear in mind, guys, you cannot fix a broken woman, okay? Now, if you have a decent woman, if you have a woman who knows how to act, you've seen her act right, you know she knows how to act right, and she gets a little off track, your alpha at the right time, your beta at the right time, your frame at all times will bring her in. It will rein in her emotions that get out of control. Every woman has emotions that get out of control. That is normal. That is feminine. That is correct, according to, you know, nature and nurture and whatever. That's expected. All right? Please do not expect a woman to act like a man. Expect a woman to act like a woman and be a woman. And be a man for her. Be the rock of stability. Okay? Be the foundation upon which she can build. Don't sit there and cry with her and fall into the same despair that she does. She doesn't need that. She needs you to be strong. You won't always be strong, but you need to be strong as much as possible to show her stability, strength, stoicism, direction, guidance, all that stuff. That doesn't mean you spell out to her what she has to do. Women aren't big on that. It just means that you're there for her. You provide her that stability. You tell her what you're going to do. And you tell her when necessary, hey, honey, it's going to be fine. I got this. Stuff like that. That works a lot. The Virago, the domineering woman, she gets off on power, dominance, and control. She learned this at a very young age, most likely. She probably learned it by watching her mother. Possibly her father, if she was sort of like a tomboyish, you know, daddy's girl. But generally, even very dominant men don't create women like that. That's my personal experience. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. None of this is legal advice, okay? None of this is medical advice. None of this is psychological, psychiatric advice. It's just me personally, my personal experience. She probably learned this stuff from her mom or whoever raised her, whether it was mom, grandma, aunt, whoever. So she learned these controlling, dominant behaviors. Why do I keep running that way? I think I've done that in every single time I've come down here. She learned these behaviors. She will continue to practice them as long as they, quote, work, unquote. Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean that they produce a good relationship? Hell no. They never do. I mean, as long as she perceives them to be working, and in her mind, they work when she gets her way. That was one of the things that in a previous relationship, I was with a woman who often said, you always get your way. I never get my way. You always get your way. To her, she thought of the relationship as an either or, as a versus, as a man versus woman, me versus her, him versus me setup. She saw it as one of us must win and one of us must lose. In her mind, there had to be a loser for her to be a winner. I had to be the loser for her to win, and otherwise, she was the loser and I was the winner. She saw almost every conflict, every argument, she saw every problem in the relationship as somebody wins and somebody loses. There was never happy compromise. There was never her man leading the way, leading her into a better situation. There's a phrase that they have in the Red Pill, and I heard this from Ryan Stone. He has a great YouTube channel. His first name is spelled R-I-A-N, I believe, Ryan Stone. Search for him on YouTube, subscribe, you won't regret it, trust me. He's a little direct. He likes to underestimate the depth and how much is covered by the Red Pill, but I don't agree with everything he says, but I think he's a great channel. Anyway, he says, how do you bring a woman to happiness? You drag her kicking and screaming. Now, obviously not literally. You don't literally drag a woman. Don't do that. That's how you go to jail for real and deserve to go to jail. Just like if she were to drag you, she would deserve to go to jail just as much, no less. However, the way you get a woman to happiness is through her objection to it, her emotional objection, in her mind, her concept of reason, her mental objection. Women don't know how to reach their own happiness. Most men don't know either, but men can figure out through logic and reason. Women try to emotionalize their way to it. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. They try to emotionalize their way to happiness and never get there. You can't use emotions to achieve emotions. You can't use emotion to get to ultimate self-satisfaction, happiness, self-actualization on, like, the hierarchy of needs. Is that Maslow or I don't know. Somebody's hierarchy of needs. You know what I'm talking about. It's like that pyramid where at the top is self-actualization and at the bottom are basic things like shelter, food, and clothing. Well, self-actualization is where you get to the point where you feel like you're really accomplishing something in life. You have a mission, goals, and a purpose. You can't get there until obviously you have food and a place to stay. So you got to get some basics down first. At the very bottom, underneath food, shelter, clothing, is Wi-Fi access. That's the most basic human need nowadays. I'm sorry, I just saw a version of the pyramid with that and thought it was funny. So she gets off on power and dominance. She loves control, maybe even in bed. If she's very controlling in bed, that might be because that's how she perceives success in her mind. So she might get off sexually on that as well. Not necessarily. Some domineering women just hate sex because they see it as the man's domain. And so she may use sex as a means of control, but not ever actually like it. I knew one woman, as soon as I'm not going to say all the details, but as soon as she would get to the point where she started to enjoy intimacy, if you know what I mean, she would get mad and stop. She didn't want to enjoy it because she felt like she was losing control. And that's really what it is when you achieve the ultimate moment of intimacy. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to use too many explicit words here. Starts with an O. Anyway, when you achieve that ultimate moment, you really do kind of lose control. And she did not ever want to lose control. She felt like she always had to have control over everything. And of course, people that feel like they always need control often never have control. They often feel that they never have it. They always need it, but often never feel like they have it. I don't know why I tried to parry from that far back. And right here, I got close to dying twice. Finally. There we go. Redeem myself on the parries. So don't be surprised if she doesn't even want to lose control in bed. Many women do. Many very controlling women might find that the only place they feel comfortable being out of control is with a dominant alpha male in bed. The domineering feminist, often, if you want some of the weirdest, kinkiest, crazy intimacy, get with a dominant feminist. I don't recommend this, because the feminist can destroy your life in so many ways. She can mess you up. She can start converting you over and ruin your outlook. But if you want some crazy intimacy, they are sometimes into the wildest stuff, that want to be tied down, want to be choked. And here's my thing. If you're into choking, get out of it. Stop. Because if you're choking some chick for intimacy pleasure and she just decides to get mad at you one day and produces a video of it, or accuses you of it, or has marks on her neck, you're gonna get arrested, and it will look like shit, and you will look like a controlling, abusive, murderous freak. It is way too dangerous a fetish. Don't pursue it. I'm just warning you guys. It'd be a bad idea to do that. I think it'd be... Oh, I went the wrong way. It'd be a very bad idea to do that. Don't. That's just my suggestion, okay? Try to keep your intimacy fetishes and desires to stuff that doesn't leave marks and can't potentially kill somebody. Now, yeah, I know you're not going to kill somebody in a choking fetish, because you have to, like, choke them out and maintain that for several minutes. But still. I noticed how dark it was here and was hoping to brighten it up, but whatever. Will use and abuse, then dump. One thing to be aware with these women: they often don't mind ditching a guy. When they feel like your usefulness is gone, when they feel like they can do better, they'll often have no problem just dropping you like a bad habit. I mean, they will drop you like they're tossing a sack or a bag of trash in the trash can, and they won't think twice about it. I think I heard Ed Lattimore, guy on Twitter. He's not a big fan of mine. He got mad at me because I called him out for selling, cheesy self-help, get-rich-quick bullshit. Like I said, any guy who's financially wealthy is not going to be hustling on Twitter to sell you an $85 ebook for you to get financially wealthy. They're just not. It's not worth their time. It's a waste of their time, because they could make so much more money doing other things. Anyone that says they're wealthy and is trying to sell you self-help shit is not wealthy, because they need more money. They claim that, they're always out there trying to make more money, and they don't mind, they really want to help men or whatnot. If they have millions and millions of dollars and they're passionate about helping men, they're not going to do it for the price of an $85 ebook. They'll do it for free, because the $85 ebook wouldn't be worth it any more than free. It would be a drop in the bucket. They wouldn't even notice the income. Seriously, it's like if you had a job making $150 an hour, would you take a part-time job making $4 an hour? Well, for them, for millionaires to sell you ebooks and do conferencing with you for one-on-one counseling, it's like they make $150 an hour and they're taking on a job working for you for 50 cents an hour. They wouldn't do it. And if they were that passionate about it, they wouldn't care about the 50 cents an hour. It would be nothing to them. Put it in perspective, guys. Millionaires won't waste time hustling on Twitter to sell you get-rich-quick shit. Anyway, Ed Lattimore said something that I thought was valuable, because he does have some valuable stuff to say on Twitter. He said, "The coldest shower a man will ever take is when he realizes how quickly a woman will dump him and move on, like he didn't exist." Now, I'm paraphrasing, but this is true. Many women can dump you and move on like you were nothing, like you didn't even matter, like you weren't even there, like you were just a nobody. And when they do this, it'll be after you spend thousands and thousands of dollars, after you buy them a car, after you pay for their apartment for a year, after you invest years of your life and potentially tens of thousands of dollars. They'll turn on you make you out to be the bad guy, pretend like you were nothing but horrible and abusive and awful, and tell everyone how awful you are, and move on like you were nothing. So keep that in mind when a girl's talking to you about how she's having trouble paying her bills. You know what you tell her? Yep, I know a lot of people struggle with bills, but maybe we can get you a better job. Maybe we can find you another job to make some more money. Because hell no am I paying your bills. Right? Don't be a sugar daddy. Sugar daddies are suckers. Women don't respect sugar daddies. They think they're stupid. They think they're suckers. They think they're gullible. Don't do it. Ooh, I barely dodged the first explosion just to get hit by the second. Oh, damn. The ghosties are getting me here. That's the problem is I hate wasting a transient curse just for these last two ghosts right at the end. That's just really annoying. I wish FromSoft made it so that they didn't come at you over here. Because it's just frustrating to be done with the ghost section and have them pop up right at the end, right before the fog wall. I use the transient curse and then boom, they disappear, so whatever. Dominant women, the Virago, they look for weak men. They look for men to target. And there's certain things that you do that indicate whether you're a weak man. Alright? And what are all those things? Well, the easiest way not to be weak is to watch my next playthrough. Dark Souls Red Pill Basics. The next playthrough is going to cover, from start to finish, in this order, most likely, because most of that is actually done. I've done over half of it now. The first episode will be about frame. That's critical to know what frame is, to know how to keep it together. And we'll basically doing the 5 Fs. There's frame, fitness, food, finance, and fashion. And with fashion is grooming. Then the next episode after that, I haven't thought of a good name for you. It's kind of like home economics type issues. It's how to decorate a house inside and out, how to take care of your living arrangements, like your apartment, whatnot, how to cook for yourself, clean for yourself, do your own laundry. It's about being independent, knowing how to take care of yourself, because a woman will not want to take care of a man who can't take care of himself. A high-quality, good woman will want to take care of a man who she knows can take care of himself. And I repeat this elsewhere in other videos, but this is an important point. A good woman will want to take care of a man whom she knows can take care of himself. As long as you can take care of yourself first, she'll be happy to take care of you. But she doesn't want to take care of you if she knows that you can't do it yourself. She won't have a problem doing your laundry if she knows you could just do it yourself, and you have been. If you've been doing your laundry all this time, she moves in with you, and you're still doing your own laundry, and all of a sudden she just starts doing it for you. She knows you can do it. That's a good thing. By the way, I think I actually came back here to level up and also go into human form. I might be summoning Witch Beatrice. Witch Beatrice is sometimes a good idea, sometimes not. I would say overall, it's probably better not to summon her because I think she just gives the 4 kings more health and slows down the fight. And it's really important to make the fight go as quickly as possible so you don't get overloaded with the 4 kings on top of you. After that, we were going to talk about dating. Next is building your sense of self, creating your own self-image, your personality, what you project to the world. After that is friendships, social circles, social community. And then after that, there'll be a 10th topic that I'm yet to decide on. I'm thinking about a couple different things. So, by the way, I have no idea what I was talking about here, but I stopped for a little while, sitting at the bonfire. Doing what? I don't know. So, make of that what you will. Maybe I ran off to use the bathroom. I think that's actually... No, that wasn't long enough. Anyway, the next series is going to be Dark Souls. It's a Black Knight playthrough. So, yeah. If maybe in a future episode of this playthrough, I'll be debating what to do, because this was recorded last. This entire playthrough is done. I just had to go back and re-record this audio. So, it's kind of like I jumped back in time from the future. This is the future me. In episode 7 of Dark Souls Predatory Women. By the way, I was looking through some videos and I just realized some other people in the Red Pill community used the term predatory women in a popular video. I did not know that existed. I promise you guys I didn't. Now I kind of regret naming this Predatory Women because it looks like I just stole their title. I would have renamed this Abusive Women. But whatever, it's already been named, so just be aware of that. And you know, it's hard to come up with terms that haven't been used somewhere by somebody at this point in time, you know? Don't be a weak target. So the way not to be a weak target, watch my next playthrough, really, seriously, because there's so much to it. And it's all, really, it comes down to frame. It's about you living for yourself, you having your own goals, you having your own mission and ambitions in life, you making your own decisions for you. The best way I can put it is this. When the wife comes up to you and says, oh, I want to move back to Phoenix, Arizona, because I want to be closer to my mom. She's kind of sick, and, you know, I really want to be closer to the family and mom. The beta male who does not have frame will give up his career, change careers, change houses and homes and living situations to move to a different location for his wife. My ex, while we were together, my ex-wife, she would constantly drop hints and suggestions about us moving back to where we were, where we met and where her family is. And my response was always the same. No, I have a career where we are. I'm not planning on changing it. This is where we're at. You're just going to have to get used to that. And she was never happy with that because she was never happy. She's never going to be happy. In my opinion, she will never be happy. But that's just my opinion. I hope she is. I hope she meets the most wonderful person in the future and becomes the happiest woman in the world. That would be fine by me. Obviously, she's helping to raise my son, so it's not in my best interest that she be miserable. But that is not in my control, and I'm glad it's not. I wouldn't even want it to be. So, what else about the domineering woman? Well, she may be physically abusive. We'll talk about that kind of woman later, but keep in mind, these predatory women, they don't exist as one classification only. There's not like, oh, there's the sugar daddy girl, and that's it, and that's all she does. And then there's the abusive, physically abusive woman, and that's all she does, and that's it. No. Often they're a combination of these things. You may have a sugar daddy girl who's also physically abusive, who's domineering, and who's even borderline personality disorder, all at the same time. I know, nightmare, right? The more red flags you see, the less you should invest, and the more you should withdraw. Don't get involved in red flag women, okay? Now, if you see a couple yellow flags, all right. A few tattoos on her, those are yellow flags. Some guys like to say tattoos on a woman are red flags. Tattoos are so commonplace now, I would not say it's a red flag. It's a yellow flag, a potential problem, okay? She grew up without a father. That's a potential red flag, so be careful. It doesn't mean there's no chance she can be a decent woman, but you have to be careful there. You may end up having to be a little more dominant and a little more... You may have to have very, very solid frame before you can get with a woman like that. The more stable her upbringing, the better a father that she had in her life, the less you need to focus on being totally in control and having frame. I'm not saying no frame. I'm not saying not to. What I'm saying is you need to be even more rock solid as a man and with your frame when you deal with a woman who had an unstable childhood, unstable family situation. Because oftentimes she'll look to men as replacements for her father, but then also blame the men in her lives for the problems that her father caused her, the things that her father did. She may have a sense of abandonment if her father just up and left at one point. And the reason a lot of fathers are not part of their children's lives is not because they just abandon them. It's not because they're deadbeats. That's a myth. Someday I may address the common misandrous myths that the feminine social order has created. The deadbeat dad is a myth created by a feminine social order that seeks to vilify men and vilify fathers. Deadbeat dads are mainly created, not exclusively. I'm not saying there's no such thing as a true deadbeat dad who doesn't show up and doesn't care and doesn't contribute. But they're mainly the product of unstable, angry, bitter women that take them through the ringer, make false DV accusations, get unreasonable child support against him, deny him access to his kids, make him pay thousands and thousands of dollars in family court just to see his kids, get him arrested falsely, get false protection orders against him. After all of that, eventually a lot of these guys just say, you know what, I just quit. I'm done with this. I'm tired of getting arrested. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of police showing up. I'm tired of paying thousands of dollars. And they just give up. They throw up their hands and give up. They feel like the system is stacked against them because it is, and they give up. And then they get labeled as a deadbeat dad. And then they get falsely presented as the father who didn't care. He was the father who cared. He was the father that was beaten down until the caring was beaten out of him. So think about that next time you hear the term deadbeat dad. All right? And if someone says deadbeat dad, say, what about deadbeat moms? Well, what? There's no deadbeat moms. The hell there's not. You know how many mothers dump the kids off on their mom, the kid's grandma, and then just go out and party and hang out with their ex-convict boyfriends? Not sure what I'm doing right here. It's been a while since I recorded this episode. Maybe I'm talking about something important. Oh, yeah. Gotta remember that ring. That's important. I can't tell you how many times I've jumped down there and died because I forgot to put the ring on. I said that she may be dominant in bed, intimately, but likely will withhold intimacy as a means of control and punishment. These women know. Most women understand, even if they don't routinely use it as a means of control, that their intimacy is a means of control. They understand that. They understand that they can control. I think I'm looking for the Green Blossom. Yeah, that really helps out in this fight. Having faster stamina regen is super useful. Chloranthy Ring, the Grass Crest Shield, or Green Blossoms, very useful in this fight. Highly recommended. Especially if you're not going to use a shield, just put it on your back. Put the Grass Crest Shield on your back, and then you'll get the benefit from it. So they may withhold and give intimacy in order to achieve specific results, as we talked about earlier. That's a big one that nearly all women do in one way or another. Some of them will even do it playfully. Like a woman may say, you know, if you go to the opera with me and my parents, or if you go to this thing with my parents and I'll give you a such and such in bed, or I'll do this for you in bed. Now, you need to be careful there. If it's done playfully, if it's done sort of coyly, like she's trying to entice you, you can play along with it. That's fine. I don't have a major problem with that. If she withholds in the sense that you sense she's really trying to control you, like it's not that she's doing something extra for you because you did something for her, but that she's not going to do something for you unless you do this thing that she demands, I would not play with that. I would not play that game. If she tries to use sex as a means to control you, express disinterest. For example, if she's like, well, if you don't do this, then nothing's going to happen in bed. The proper response would be to tell her, you know what? Nothing's going to happen tonight. I've already decided that. I got things to do tonight, so it ain't going to happen. And then walk off in the conversation there. Make her go, holy shit, what? What just happened? Because the average dude's going to argue with you. The average dude's going to beg. The average dude's going to be like, please have sex with me, please. Don't do that. Never beg for her intimacy. If she rejects you, get up and leave. Go do something else. Woo, I barely got out of range of that thing. If you're here with heavy armor, you have no chance of getting out of range of that. Or the grab. You just got to suck it up. You just got to absorb the damage, pretty much. Oh, here we go. Can I get him a time? Nope. Oh, yep. I knew I was going to get hit by that. Just watching this, I could tell. And damn, there we go. That right there, if you got heavy armor on, you're screwed. They'll get you. Oh, right here I got ticked off because I didn't understand what was going on. I died. You know what happened there? I was against the edge of the boss arena. The invisible wall was to my back, so I couldn't get out of range. And it was hard for me to realize that because you can't tell where you are. It's just all dark. So that's one of the negatives there. I did not get... I was not happy about it. Let me just say that. I expressed some unhappiness in that moment. A couple F-bombs came out. So, the domineering woman, she wants a broken, defeated man who does what she tells him to do. She enjoys that control to a certain extent. However, the only pleasure you can get out of knowing that you were in this relationship, or you're in one now and will break away, but the only pleasure you can take is that she's ultimately never happy. So when I say that she enjoys or whatnot, what I mean is that she sort of like temporarily enjoys it. She tries to enjoy it, but it ultimately just leads to more unhappiness. In the end, this woman is always miserable. She's always miserable. It never truly makes her happy. These women are never truly happy. A woman is not truly happy if she is exercising control over the situation. Even women who are high-powered executives in the conference room will come home and admit to their husbands that they can just relax now, turn off the control mechanisms, and let him lead the way. A lot of women won't admit this to themselves or say it out loud because feminism has taught them to believe that that's weakness and sexism. But many modern women, thanks to the TradCon movement, are willing to acknowledge this. Now, the TradCon movement, it stands for traditional conservative. It's, as Ryan Stone would say, it's sort of a narcissistic fantasy. It's the idea of the virgin conservative, traditional religious woman standing in a wheat field wearing a sundress and a straw hat, sun hat, and just being beautiful, and the sun's gleaming off her skin, and maybe she's got some babies with her from her one and only husband that she loves forever, and they go to church every Sunday, and they believe in traditional family values. It's a lie. It's a constructed lie. It doesn't exist really for anybody, because these women, these traditional conservative women, they're just as likely to get divorced as any others. Seriously. A traditional conservative woman is just as likely to initiate a divorce as a radical left-wing feminist. Roughly. Statistics bear this out, guys. So don't think that you found yourself a good religious woman, because guess what? That is going to be the next episode. That's going to be the next episode. We'll talk about it. Do not believe in this myth that if you find yourself a good traditional Christian girl, that she won't leave you, that she won't do this shit, that she'll respond to your frame, and she'll recognize your authority and let you lead and all this other. Let you, by the way, guys, let you lead, right? Because it's up. Oh damn, I die again. This is rough for even me to watch. I'm sitting here thinking, geez, is this going to be over anytime soon? I can't imagine how you guys feel. And I'm watching myself play. From the future. Back to the future. Oh, news came out that they're not planning any Back to the Future remake, and thank goodness. Based on their track record, I say all these companies and organizations, whenever they do a remake of a great movie from the past, they fuck it up. They just ruin it. Don't they? Ghostbusters fucking ruined now. You gotta watch the original Ghostbusters movies and just not think about the new one. Just don't think about it. Put it out of your mind, because it's shit. Utter, complete shit. They've done that to so many movies. The new Terminator movies, shit. Utter shit. The left puts all this political, ultra left-wing, radical feminist garbage in. They have some woman show up, blow some shit up with a big missile bazooka gun. It's like, hey, woman power. And everyone's like, yeah, woman power. And it's so cheesy and stupid. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. It's just like, let's do something semi-masculine and claim power to women, and we're all supposed to cheer for it. Even women I know roll their eyes at it. My girlfriend rolls her eyes at that stupid shit. It's pandering. It's insulting to real women. Real women that have real power, it's insulting to them. But anyway. She wants a defeated, broken man. If you're defeated and broken, she'll see it. If you're needy, she'll see it. If you're desperate for sex, she'll see it. Don't be needy, don't be desperate, don't be broken. Easier said than done, I know. Number one thing you got to get under control, guys. Stop thinking with the smaller head, think with the bigger head. You know what I'm talking about. Stop thinking with your genitals and think with your brain. Stop being desperate for intimacy. Stop being desperate to jump in bed with a girl, because this is what's going to get you messed up. This is what's going to get you that single mom that has your kids that's taking all your money for child support and all this other shit. Don't get caught up in doing stuff spur of the moment because you want to have sex. Don't do that. That's really dangerous. It'll really screw up your life. All right? It could screw up your life for 18 plus years. And I'm not saying because you're cursed with a child. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're cursed with dealing with her. You're cursed with the child support hustle, the big scam that is child support that generates money for the states through federal funds by fucking you over with debt. All right? Money that does not help your child. That's the lie. The big lie of child support is that it's for the child. It's not. We know it's not, because legally they don't care what happens to the money after you give it to her. After the money gets given, and therefore the state can now collect federal funds, they don't give two shits how the money is spent. She can turn around and deposit all of your child support into her boyfriend's prison bank account, and they don't care, and there's nothing they can do about it. Seriously. So it's not about the child. Never was, never will be. Yeah, it's all about a money-making scheme for the states to get money from the federal government. Look it up. Google child support hustle. Some things are getting better. They're starting to get more regulations on it. They're starting to reduce it for men. They're actually looking at men's ability to pay. Yeah, believe it or not, they would often ignore whether you actually have the ability to pay it or not. They would just order you to pay it. If you lost your job, used to make $45,000 a year and you lost your job, they would order you to pay child support at the rate of your previous job, no matter what. So if you had to work at McDonald's after working a $55,000 a year job, suddenly you're working at McDonald's because you can't find anything better and you're struggling to find a job, you will still be paying child support as if you made $55,000 a year. They don't care. You can literally show judges that you're incapable of paying it. You can show them the math doesn't work. You can show a judge that the amount of child support you owe minus how much you make makes a negative number. They don't care. Did I say that right? I think so. Anyway, they don't care. They don't give a shit. They'll just tell you, figure it out. Just figure it out. Guys, I've seen video of guys in court saying, Your Honor, how am I supposed to live on this money that I'm making? How am I supposed to live when I bring home $400 a month? That's your problem. Literally, that's your problem. Pay your child support. This is why they care so much about child support. It's about funding the states. It's about the state getting money from the government. And in some cases, it's about the local child support agency getting money for themselves from the federal funds. It's all a money-making scheme. The other thing a dominant woman will do, she will viciously fight if you try to leave her. She will do everything in her power to try to ruin you, control you, keep you, destroy your reputation. She will do everything in her power because she can't stand the notion that you would leave her. She can't stand that. She's fine leaving you. It's not about losing you that bothers her. And that's what you'll get confused. You'll think, oh my God, she really liked it. I didn't think she liked me that much. She was always an asshole to me. She was always a total bitch to me. But now she's acting like, she just wants me. Yeah, she will play whatever game she needs to get control over you. It's still a game of control. It's not about her loving and caring and wanting you. It's about her wanting to maintain control. Because if you try to leave her and she begs and pleads and tells you how much she loves you and she'll change and you're like, you know what, I'll go back because, at least I was getting some sex sometimes. If you go back to her, guess what she's likely to do? Turn around and leave you. She needs to be the one dumping you. That's important to her. She'll get you back just for the purpose of dumping you. And she'll do it in the worst way possible and make everyone know that she dumped you. Maybe take all your money, take a bunch of your stuff. Maybe if she gets back into your place, moves back in after you kicked her out, you'll go to work, you'll get home, all of your shit will be gone. She'll have moved up a moving truck and just loaded it all and taken off with it. She'll be gone with your kids and... Don't do it, guys. Just not worth it. Don't do it. Once you get away from a controlling, dominant woman, don't go back. Do not go back. Please, I'm begging you, don't go back. I try to help men. I get so many guys talk to me in person. People I know in person. Guys I work with, friends that I have, guys I used to go to high school with through Facebook. And sad to say, they come to me originally with totally the right idea in their head. Their idea in their head is, you know what? My relationship sucks. My marriage sucks. I need to get out. I need to do something about this. I can't keep doing this. I just feel like total shit. She treats me like shit. They start in the right place, and I get super hopeful about that. I give them a copy of Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male. I tell them like a brief synopsis of what they need to do. I sit down with them. I say, hey, here's some names of really good divorce attorneys. Plan your escape. Plan your way out. Record her abuse secretly to get evidence against her. Do this, do that. Secure your connection with your kids. I tell them all this stuff. And you know what? In nearly every single case, they end up just dropping it all and sticking with her or going back to her. Well, man, I thought about it and I was like, we've been married for 10 years and we got these kids together. I really don't want to do this to the kids. And it just drives me nuts to hear that, because what you're doing to the kids staying with her is worse. You're showing your boys how to be a beta male loser, how to be an absolute fucking loser and let a woman control and abuse and manipulate you. You're showing your daughters how to treat their future boyfriends and husbands like absolute shit. And that it's okay. That's what you're doing. Worst thing you can do is stay with her. You don't stay with her for the children. You leave her for the children. Will it be tough? Yes. But the lesson there that you're teaching your kids is better than the lesson you'll teach them by staying. You want to teach your daughters stay in an abusive relationship just to make the relationship work? It's not working. You're just staying in a broken relationship to keep it broken so that you don't leave. You're not doing it for the kids. You're doing it because you're too pathetic to leave, because you're too sad and you don't think you'll get something better. Just leave. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a little different. I was able to focus entirely on the conversation with only a few comments on what I was watching. If you like the video, make sure to like it, hit the subscribe button, of course, hit the notification bell icon. That's important if you want to get all the notifications. Follow me on all my social media links. Most important one is Twitter. That's where I do most of my stuff, so follow me on Twitter first before anything else. Leave your comments down below. I do respond to the ones that I find most interesting or have a comment about, but I do read them all as well. And if you want to direct message me on Twitter, my DMs are open, so you can ask questions. You can interact with me there publicly as well if you want other people to see it, possibly learn from your situation. If you do ask me about your situation, don't use names, don't use locations, don't use anything specific. Keep it ambiguous so I don't know exactly who and what. That way you don't get in trouble if you go through divorce and they subpoena records. Yeah, that's a thing. All right, guys, I'm Fox with FoxeoGames. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you look forward to the next episode where we talk about the religious girl. Maybe just as dangerous, if not more, than the domineering woman. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and I will see you all later. Yeah, I'm trying to plan this right. I'm not sure exactly when the character does the wave, so we'll wait for that to happen. It'll be soon, I'm sure. Oh, do you hear that? This is like cold now, so it's not as enjoyable. Any second now. Any second now. I'm sure I was talking about something important at the time. I just don't know what it was. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. All right, guys. There we go. And with that, I will see you all later.